Welcome to the Film Inquiry Roundtable, number 7. My name is Kristy Strouse. I'm the editor-in-chief, and today I am joined by 4 lovely contributors to our site that I'm very excited to have here, a couple new faces. And today we're talking about originals versus their remakes, or even, reboots. Maybe ones that are awesome, better than the original, maybe ones that are horrible. We'll have to see. And so just to start off, I'm just gonna do some introductions. So Jake, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, hi Kristy. Thank you for that warm welcome. Jake Tropila, been with Film Inquiry for over 2 years now, mostly on the editing side of things, but I am still producing my I don't know how frequent it is now, but my Bond column is running through all the films of the Bond franchise, the James Bond franchise. But happy to be on board and happy to do another one of these. It's good to see all your faces and to meet some of you for the first time. And in fact, let's throw it over to one of these new first-timers. Bailey Jo, how are you doing?
Hello, greetings. This is my first roundtable with all of you. I'm very excited. My name is, Bailey Jo Josie. I've been with Film Inquiry for about 8 to 9 months, so gestating just nicely for this premiere roundtable. And I've been a writer and I guess very recently editor, if that's okay to say.
Yes, it is. I meant to say, yay.
Yay.
Yeah. And she's already terrific, so.
Oh, go on. I love the website. It's one of my favorite film ones to read. I'm very happy to be part of the team. And I live in Japan, and the only thing keeping me sane is watching movies. So yeah, nice to meet y'all.
Truth.
I forgot to mention I'm based out of Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I meant to mention your editor, and also I consider my co-host. So I kind of undersold you there, Jake. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
And James Bond.
I prefer, I also prefer a Trivia King, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay, Trivia King. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll keep that.
Master of ceremonies.
Fair enough. But let's throw it over to another newbie. Clement, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh my gosh, my moment. My name is Clement Obrapta. This is now over my first year with Film Inquiry. I think it's been like 14 months. This is my first time in the roundtable, so I'm really excited. I've never heard any of these people's voices before. It's a magical experience. I'm based.
Somebody just outed himself as not ever having watched another roundtable.
I was going to,
Wow.
but I didn't want to ruin it for myself. I prefer to just be clueless and wandering around blind.
But now you're going to go rewatch the first 6 ones, right? That's what.
Yeah, I'll binge them all tomorrow.
Excellent.
So I'm based in New Jersey. I am the official youth ambassador for the Film Inquiry website.
That's exactly right.
Oh, so you're saying you're young and we're not?
Apparently, I don't know. We had this discussion a while ago that I was the youngest person because I don't get all the old references. I don't know anything.
Yeah, all those old references like, I don't know, Fight Club.
What's that poster behind you? I don't even know.
Do the youths still have Fight Club posters these days?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the youths are into these days.
Yeah.
TikTok.
I still have a Fight Club poster
Oh,
that I've had since I
TikTok,
was
yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street and TikTok. That's it.
Awesome.
I still have not experienced TikTok. I don't know what it is.
I did. I got the
Good
TikTok
nightmare.
app, and I went down a TikTok hole one day, just scrolling for 40 minutes, just thinking, oh, the next one's going to be better than that. And, I look up, it's been 45 minutes, and I said, I am not letting this happen. Deleted that app immediately and have not looked back and do not feel bad at all. No regret about that decision. It is a horrific form of media, in my opinion. So.
Sounds like you made the right call. And by the way, who are you, kind stranger?
Oh, yes. I am Jay Ledbetter. I have been with Film Inquiry on and off for 6-7 years. There's been a lot of reboots and sequels to our relationship, as well as I did things like go to grad school and get tired of writing and things like that. And I'm in maybe one of those lulls right now. I do some stuff for some other publications as well, but I got squatters rights at Film Inquiry a long time ago. So I kind of just hang around, and as the defending trivia champ from Roundtable number 6, I felt like I had a responsibility to be here to defend my belt.
Well, we shall see how you do. But yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And about those squatting, you know, I've actually been thinking about that, Jay, and I'm just kidding. It's awesome to have you here. It's so much fun. It's actually been the first time I even met you on here is the last one, so it's super cool. I love so many new faces, and it's just exciting. So yeah, to kind of start us off, there's so many different movies that have been remade that I actually love both the original and the remake. A lot of them are horror, but I was trying to think of one that, or a couple that kind of stood out to me. And, you know, we can definitely go around and I'm sure more will come up. But one that I love the remake more is John Carpenter's The Thing. Just one of my favorite horror movies. It's just something that I can literally watch over and over and over again. And I just think that it's better. I just think it's excels on every front, but I still do like the original. But then there's another one that I actually like the original and the remake for different reasons, and that's Let the Right One In and Let Me In. It's another horror, but I love Let the Right One In. You know, when it came out, I was just kind of obsessed with it. But when Let Me In came out, I was kind of thinking, you know, a little bit defensive. Like, I, you know, really don't want them to remake this movie, have to put it in, you know, America and everything. But I just think, like, Chloe Moretz is so great. I thought it was just, and Richard Jenkins, it was just a terrific remake. And I just try to think of them a little bit separately in my mind, even though the stories are pretty matched up. But yeah, those are just a couple. You want to, Jake, throw some out?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's kind of like I have this condition where if you say Christmas movie, I think Die Hard. If you say remake, I think The Thing. I think The Thing and The Fly are probably the two gold standards as far as remakes go. And there's several others that I enjoy. You know, I think the Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12 they're both a lot of fun. I think Herzog's Nosferatu, Phantom der Nacht is great. But then I was looking at the reboot side of things, and I was trying to think of one that really worked and one that I really enjoyed. And when I really thought about it, it dawned on me that 2006 Casino Royale is the greatest reboot ever. Takes a 40-year-old franchise and spins it into something new. And I said up front, I'm the Bond fan, but it's great. I love it. I cannot get enough of it every time I see it. I think Daniel Craig is excellent. I think the action is superb. I think it's gorgeously shot. I have a wonderful time every time I see it. So yeah, Casino Royale is the gold standard of reboots as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna throw it over to Bailey Joe. What have you got for us?
I mean, I would definitely have to agree with Casino Royale and The Thing for being like God tier remakes. I like to think that the Mad Max movies are in their own world of like a reboot remake, that they kind of go with the Evil Dead movies, because Evil Dead 2 is a complete reboot remake, but it's the same movie, but it's different. And yeah, I think those are like the two kind of franchises where you can watch basically kind of the same movie over and over, but with small little changes, but you can still appreciate everything before it. Like, you know, even with the Evil Dead 2013, it's still really, really good, and it pays homage, it has new things, and it's like a reimagining. I feel like those kind of two franchises, along with like The Thing, which is the ultimate, and yeah, Casino Royale, those are like amazing. as far as like, I guess maybe controversially, I think the Suspiria remake is probably one of the best remakes recently.
I love
The
that
original
one.
Suspiria, yeah, the original Suspiria is like, you know, iconic, but it's kind of a trash movie. It doesn't make any sense. And there's a lot of plot holes, but you know, it's beautiful. It's Snow White in horror, you know. But the Suspiria 2018 like actually fits with Argento's like Three Mothers trilogy of all those movies. And so the original Suspiria doesn't fit with those. And yeah, I would say, sorry, those are like the kind of mix of three among many, I would say. Yeah.
Those were some very backhanded compliments towards the original Suspiria. I smelled a hint of sarcasm in your evaluation of the original one.
Well, that's the thing. I love the original, but it's still not great. Like as a film, watching it.
Jake is slowly dying.
You're killing me, baby.
Well, I mean, they want the girl, I can't remember her name, at the academy so bad, but then they get freaked out when she notices things, and it doesn't make any sense to why they want these girls here at this ballet academy. The new Suspiria kind of handles that by saying like, oh, they use their dance energy, their dance for their magic. Like that makes a lot more sense. And you know, it's more political, but obviously like, you know, Suspiria, it's iconic. I'll watch it all the time forever, but it's not a great movie, like as a movie. But Argento gets that. He gets to do that.
Yeah, I get where a lot of people are coming from with the remake of Suspiria. I guess when I sit down to watch the original, I just kind of like to drift off into this dream state, this fugue state, if you will. And I just
that's what's cool about it. It's really different than the original, which is so not the way that stuff is now. Whether you like it or not, you have to appreciate that it's not, you know, RoboCop 2012 or whenever that movie came out or whatever, where it's just
I forgot about that.
Remaking a RoboCop movie or Total Recall. I mean, all the Verhoeven movies were just remade, and
wow,
and they're just like pale modern imitations of the original. And Suspiria was going for something very out there, and a lot of people really didn't take to it. But I really liked it. I really liked both a lot, and I appreciated that one was really different.
I was mostly just put off by the whole Tilda Swinton is an old man thing. Which is really weird how they went with that, with the marketing, like, oh no, this is some old guy, it's not Tilda Swinton. I'm like, what was the point of that? But
stunt marketing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Jay, do you have any that you'd like to offer up?
Well, you mentioned Ocean's 11, which for me, as far as the gap between the original and the remake, I think is about as high as you can get. You know, Ocean's 11, the old one, was just a total cult of personality. Look at this group of celebrities being in a movie together thing. And it's, you talk about Suspiria being not a great movie. Ocean's 11 original, I think, is a all the way bad film. I think that movie is pretty darn bad.
And then I think famous actors getting drunk on the backlot between other shows.
And they may have been doing the exact same thing on Soderbergh's movie, but I think that is one of the most successful, most entertaining blockbusters of the 21st century. And I just love that movie. And I love the sequels too, at least 12. 13's okay. But 12 is really unique and just a really different take on the story than 11. The other one that I was thinking of, which is not truly a reboot in the sense of completely restarting the franchise, but I think spiritually, the fourth Fast and Furious movie, The Fast and the Furious, or Fast and Furious, I don't remember what any of them are called anymore, but the fourth one entirely changed what they were doing. You know, the first one was Point Break, the second one was, you know, over the top South Beach vibes, and then the third one was Tokyo Drift, but they were all played kind of straightforward cop movies. And then 4, they were just like, all right, no, they're superheroes now. And that definitely gets upped in 5, but 4 was really where that spawned. And while it's not a reboot in the traditional sense, I think that's how a lot of things are done now. I think Star Wars was kind of done that way. And you see a lot of these legacy sequels, you know, with stuff like Jurassic World, where it's technically part of the same world, but they're updating it for what they believe modern audiences will want. And I would say most of the time it doesn't work. But in the case of Fast and Furious, I think it really did work. So that was just one that sprang to mind when I was thinking about it. But Ocean's 11 for me is the pinnacle of reboot remakes.
Yeah, that's a great choice. And thank you for reminding me of Point Break, remake of that.
Oh God, I forgot they remade that one. That's a movie that nobody saw.
I watched like 20 minutes. And I was like, why am I doing this?
I saw that whole thing.
Who is in that? Who did they get?
Edgar Ramirez,
Keanu and Swayze.
The Keanu character is a nobody. The Swayze character I only know is because he's a fantastic actor named Edgar Ramirez.
Yeah,
played Carlos, the Jackal. But
it's a lot of practical stunts, right? Is that kind of the?
Yeah, it's supposed to be just modern extreme sports, like body paragliding through like a canyon, or extremely high. Motocross, skydiving.
Isn't there like a
like
free solo climb up a waterfall or something? I don't know.
Yeah, they take a venture up to the top of a waterfall and jump off of it. It's just practical stunts, and it's got this weird bleached, washed out aesthetic that I don't like.
It's just excess.
Exactly.
Delroy Lindo and Ray Winstone are in this movie,
and it made $2.5 billion at the box office.
In refunds. Clement, what about you? What have you got?
Well, if we're talking about horror remakes, I adore horror of Dracula. The first Hammer horror Dracula movie that they did with it in '58 with the one and only Christopher Lee as Dracula, taking a role that was just completely wooden and like unintelligible and completely unsexy and turning it into like the coolest thing of all time. And I love House of Dracula because it's like it has like made for TV movie Downton Abbey Victorian vibes for an hour, and then the last 7 minutes go so hard, and it's like everybody's running around and doing everything. Like they have to cover a half an hour of a movie in 7 minutes, and it is the most incredible cinematic experience I think I've ever had. And then I think if we're going off of horror remakes, then His Girl Friday is a non-horror remake that I love too, because the front page is a god-awful movie and I hate it. And it is the most like dreadful slog ever. And it takes that and puts some of the most suave, intelligent actors of the time into it, and I can't watch His Girl Friday enough times. I just keep going back to it.
That's a good reminder for me to watch that movie. I have not yet seen it.
I gotta see
it.
It's okay. I love these because I always walk out at the end of a roundtable with like a list of a dozen movies that I need to see. So this is an ever expanding list. But yeah, great choices, everyone. Seems like that horror gets remade the most of any genre.
Yeah.
Do we have any particular reason why that is?
Money.
Lack of originality.
Valid choices. Yeah.
Probably
No, you go.
special effects evolving. People are like,
That's true.
this would
Yeah.
look so much better. But guess what? It never looks better.
I have not seen the thing. Was the thing from several years ago? Was that a sequel or
Prequel.
It was a
Is it-
prequel.
It was a
Prequel, but
prequel.
also a
That's right. That's right. Is it any
Yeah.
good?
It's
No.
actually not. It's bad. I mean, horrible.
Sorry, Kristy, go ahead.
No, it's I don't know. It has a few moments, but it's not comparable at all. I mean, I
No,
think it's a
yeah,
little,
yeah.
and it's
I-
definitely more many horror movies that come out, So
I've heard some defenders of it, but not a whole lot. One that I just thought of that I love, and the original is good, and it won the great John Wayne an Oscar. But True Grit, the Coen brothers' True Grit, I think is so good. And when I first saw it, when I was like a teenager or whatever, I was like, this is okay. I mean, that was decent. And then I watched it again recently, and it's just the craft on display with that. And Jeff Bridges and the Coen brothers dialogue, it just doesn't really get much better than that. I think that movie is so poignant and sad, and so much more full of life than the original one is. And, you know, if the Coen brothers make a movie, it's probably going to be better than the one that came before it. So it improves upon the original True Grit, in my opinion, for sure.
I love the original.
Much more true to the book. Yeah.
There's that, and
I like the original.
Yeah, I love it. I have quite a fondness for it. It's the first John Wayne film I ever saw, and so I'm quite a fan of his part in that. But not to knock Kim Darby, but I think we have the new True Grit to thank for introducing Haley Steinfeld to the world. And she's just excellent in that movie.
Oh yeah.
There's like extended scenes of her holding her own against older men in these long arguments that are just simply fantastic to watch. And
she was young at that point. Young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was her first film? Or
something
first
like
major
that.
film, I think?
Yeah. It was her
I remember
breakthrough.
that was a big thing.
Yeah. It was definitely instrumental in her success, for sure. Kind of introducing her to the world.
And it's interesting, like how Kim Darby's performance really set that up, because, I mean, can you think of any character similar to that before she did it? And man, I grew up in like a rodeo family, so True Grit, anything John Wayne is like injected into your veins from a young age. So like, most of the people I know would never watch the new True Grit, which is very interesting to think of just because of nostalgia. And yeah, but they're kind of like two different things because the original one is so different from the book. And it's just more lighthearted and a lot funnier, and it's just great to think about Glenn Campbell being mad that he got killed off because he didn't know.
I've never.
Well,
seen
you know, there's a lot of westerns that have been remade as well, and as I'm thinking about kind of what goes along with westerns and horror, they kind of just are entrenched in tropes, and so that might be why they're easier to remake, is because they can find these small twists on the things that we're used to within those genres, and that might make them a little easier to remake than other movies.
Yeah. Another remake I love is Cape Fear. Cape Fear.
I've never seen the original with Mitchum, but
it's definitely a great film.
Yeah.
I just adore the one with Robert De Niro.
Heading into the list.
A Creeper. Go ahead. I was just saying De Niro. Creeper, so it's in that movie.
I think a really, really great remake that it's kind of in that realm of like, that's a remake? Oh yeah, I guess it kind of is The Mummy, you know? Because it's so divorced from...
Tom Cruise one, yes.
Oh, the great Tom Cruise one.
No.
We love it. I love that dark universe. I can't get enough
We don't
of
talk about her.
I love
it. So, no, what is it? Boris Karloff's 32, and then the Brendan Fraser 99 one. Like,
yeah,
both equally great. You know, it's like the seed of like the simplest of premise. There's mummies, and it's got the same name, but it's technically a remake. But man, and then I guess that goes into bad remakes of the new one, which I haven't seen.
Along the same Monsters universe, Invisible Man this year, which completely recontextualized the original Invisible Man, almost has nothing to do with the original Invisible Man other than there is a man who is invisible in it. And it is making the themes of that film connect more to modern day. And that as well is something that makes it easy to remake horror films, is because horror films are so closely tied into the socio-political climate of their times that you can kind of push that from one film onto another and keep the same general storyline and make it feel completely fresh in a modern age.
Invisible Man is really good, but as an adaptation of the classic Ralph Ellison novel, I think it leaves a lot to be desired. That's a deep cut Ralph Ellison reference, I'm sorry. But also to that point though, like with horror, I think it's really interesting because like it's more easy to identify like waves of horror filmmaking. Like why The Thing would have scared people when the original came out versus what John Carpenter did with it. And like even all the permutations that like the Friday the 13th or the Jason or the Halloween series undergoes as it tries to adapt to keep up with horror sensibilities as they change. I think it's just really interesting.
Yeah, now the people getting killed in Halloween movies are podcasters.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, somebody's knocking on my door. I'll be right back.
Jake, don't do it.
I'll be right back.
I mean, I guess like what could constitute a good remake of a horror movie is like the original or some thread of that having something to say. Like think of like Gojira, you know, first one, amazing, you know, talk commentary on the A-bomb, Godzilla King of the Monsters in 1956, the worst thing I've ever seen. And then you look at Godzilla in name only, like from 1998, and it's also one of the worst things ever. But then you look at like Shin Gojira from a couple years ago, and it completely recontextualizes the mythos of Godzilla, Gojira, into something more about like Fukushima and Japanese government bureaucracy, but still keeping that. And then even with last year's Godzilla, King of the Monsters, you know, global warming and all that. And I think like what works with like The Thing is like, you know, that nihilistic thing. What works with like, what was another one that was said? I'm blanking. Oh, with True Grit, you know, recontextualizing Westerns in a way that's not whitewashed. And like, oh, you know, it's so fun being out here with outlaws, cowboys and Indians, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, this is tough out here. Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it, especially with horror. Like,
Shin Godzilla is a really good pull. That's one of the best movies of the last 5 years that I've seen. Anybody watching or listening, go see Shin Godzilla. It's amazing. The whole movie is kind of this comedy of errors of people trying to get through the bureaucratic red tape of what to do with this thing they've discovered. And it's like almost comically overstuffed with information. Like every room they're in, every vehicle they take is all identified via text on screen. And like as people get promoted, everybody has a caption like with what their title is. And as the situation gets worse and worse, they're given new jobs, so they're like getting extended titles on the screen. But and the Godzilla, not only is it just a terrifying creation in that movie, but it's also incredibly handled. Like it's a 2-hour movie and 50 minutes go by before they even make their first attempt to fire a weapon at it, because they have to like go through every single stage of you know what to, you know, how to analyze, which experts to talk to, how to deal with this thing. And then you got all that, and then once the actual Godzilla mayhem starts, it's also beautifully rendered on screen. So that's an excellent choice.
But what you're talking about there, Bailey Joe, is the kind of the corruption and bastardization of IP, especially that we have today, right? Where it's less about conforming to the traditions of the IP than the fact that it is IP, and we are going to use that to get people in the theater and then make a more traditional detached movie, which is what we get so much today with the RoboCops, with the Point Breaks, with the, you know, Point Break is this huge, awesome movie about toxic masculinity and stuff like that. And then I haven't seen the new one, but I assume it's just about dudes being guys, just guys being dudes, you know, just X gaming it up down in the jungle. Yeah. And you talked about the Roland Emmerich Godzilla, which I think is along the same lines. And I think Jurassic World especially is like a complete screw up of what the original movies were trying to say. I mean, the whole existence of Jurassic World could be summed up by saying, you know, we should have asked whether we should do it rather than we could do it. You know, I mean, it's really the manifestation of that original film's warning. So that's a big problem that we have with a lot of that was definitely what Trevor was going for. One of our greatest filmmakers. But I think that's something that you see more and more today than ever.
And then also that there's a big old like ticker clock in Hollywood. It's like X days since last Robin Hood remake, and then every day, you know, another one goes down.
Yep. Public domain, King Arthur, Robin Hood, all those guys.
I mean, heck, Spider-Man's been rebooted 3 times, basically.
That's just so Sony could keep.
Yeah, that's a rights thing, which is a whole
Yeah.
nother wormhole to go down.
But
Yeah.
what about all the Fantastic Fours?
all 2 of them.
Well, if you count the Corman one.
True. I did forget about that one.
The
But who
best
remembers
one.
it? Yeah.
No, there's
I
4
do.
because there's the Trank one too, and then 2 of the other ones.
Well, I wasn't
but
counting the
reboots.
sequel as a
Reboots.
as the
Oh,
as the,
like
the
eras of
2005.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. But
Man.
yeah, we're due for another one of those, I guess.
Oh, now that it's in Disney's control, imminent. It's coming, baby.
Yeah.
Another one that's been redone so many times is Dracula. I really do not like the most recent one. I don't think I even finished it.
The
What do you think
Coppola
of
Is that
No,
is that
not- I
Sexy
like Coppola.
Dracula? Or no, that's I Frankenstein. That's when we
There
have
was
Sexy
one-
Frankenstein's a
Frankenstein.
great movie. Phil
I think
Knight
it's
just
Dracula-
had a wonderful time.
Dracula Untold.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's the one that I don't like, but I do like Ford Coppola's one in its own little odd
Yeah.
corner.
In terms of like kind of getting away from like horror and I guess westerns, a really, really great like line of remakes are the Freaky Friday movies. Have you guys seen all those?
I've seen the Lohan one.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
only
I
one.
I've
haven't-
seen that one.
I haven't seen the most recent one, but there's the Lohan one, Jamie Lee Curtis one. There's one from '95 with Shelley Long, which is like a TV movie, but that's the one I grew up with, and then the Jamie Lee one. But then even the one in the '70s with Jodie Foster, like they're all just like they all work because it's like the core thing is just the relationship between a mother and a daughter, and they're all kind of funny and updated. Like we go from a diver. Yeah, I think field hockey to like a diver to I want to be in a rock band because that's what we all wanted to do in '03.
What's next?
And I guess TikToker.
Yeah, TikToker. Yeah, influencer.
Influence. Yeah, influencer.
Isn't there a new Freaky
man.
Friday that just came out in like the last 5 years or something?
I think there is.
I had no idea.
There's
Yeah,
the
2018.
there's the Lil Dicky
It's on
song.
Disney Plus, I know.
The Lil Dicky song, Freaky Friday.
That must be what I'm thinking of.
It could be. Along the same, on the Lohan line, Parent Trap. I like that film.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yes.
Lit.
The what is that, late 90s Parent Trap, I think, where Dennis Quaid, the whole thing about that movie is that Dennis Quaid is marrying a girl way younger than him, and I think he now just married a girl younger than that girl in that movie in real life. So
He committed to the bit.
Get it, man.
life imitating art.
Still
Good
working
for
it.
you, Quaid. We're
What's
living in a
interesting-
Quaid-assance.
What's interesting about Parent Trap is it's a great double feature with Jurassic Park 3 because it's all about divorce. Yeah, that's a great one. The original one is like fine and all,
It's
but
cute.
there's just something about 90s, early aughts kind of geared towards like teenagers and like family-oriented ones, comedies that are just amazing.
And that's a Nancy joint. That's a Nancy Meyer. She's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
She is a good one.
Love Nancy.
I like the string of remakes where clearly somebody like absolutely loves the original film and just wants to like dive into the world and see what else they can play with. Because like that's the feeling that I got with the Suspiria remake, is that was the ethos behind it. But then also Peter Jackson's King Kong is a movie that apparently a lot of people hate, and I didn't know this because when I was a child I would just watch it all the time.
It's very good, yeah.
And I
It's
love
like a
the
love
original
letter.
King Kong too. Yeah. And like how they take that removed scene in the insect pit and they fleshed out into like a gross body horror 10-minute long action sequence of just misery and torment is like one of the most incredible things.
Yeah, I guess like that's a great take on it, because you can always tell what makes a great film is like the heart that goes into it. Like yeah, it's totally a love letter. Like I remember Jackson, he talked about like how every time he watched the original one, how he wept, you know, and it just brought him back to being a child. And that's what movies are all about, our childhood and our love.
And Chef's named Lumpy, played by Andy Serkis, getting torn apart by giant worms.
We love to
What
see
I
it.
need
We
in
truly
my
love to see it.
movies.
Question, does The Silence of the Lambs count as a reboot?
Of what?
You mean Hannibal, the TV show?
No, like Manhunter came out in the 80s.
That's
and,
more like Red Dragon, though.
and went nowhere. And then they redid it with Silence of the Lambs. They recast Hannibal.
Well, Red Dragon's the prequel novel to Silence of the Lambs.
Right. Yeah.
I guess
Right, but it's more similar to Manhunter.
It would be. It's like the Girl in the Spider's Web and Dragon Tattoo. It was like supposed to be a sequel, but it was also kind of a reboot. So I don't even know if you can call it a reboot if there was only one movie, and it's not a remake. So it's in this nebulous zone.
That's kind of like with like any Dracula movie. Is it technically a remake unless it's shot for shot if it's originally from like an old novel?
Yeah, Kong Skull Island is not really a remake of King Kong.
No, it's its own thing. And that brings up Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I love that.
Me too.
I love both the Swedish version and
I need to
Fincher's
revisit
version.
the American one. I was not too hot on it when I saw it because I think I saw it too close to the original when it came out. But to go quick back to the Red Dragon or the Manhunter Silence of the Lambs thing, I think it's kind of interesting to look at. It's like two circles in the Venn diagram, and then just the middle sliver is based on a novel by Thomas Harris, and they're both their own wildly different things. But I will say that the Hannibal TV series could be considered a reboot, and I think it's a fantastic one at that. It's on
I'm
Netflix
in the middle of it
actually.
right now. It rocks the house. Absolutely rocks the house.
Season 3 is amazing. That's all I'll say.
I'm in 2 right now. I've heard season 3 is just like nonsense in the best way possible. I've heard
like
it is the craziest thing that was ever put on NBC in history.
It's like an American giallo that aired on network television. It's fantastic. It's a grand Google good time.
Can't wait.
That's what I would stamp it on the
Yeah, I'm
DVD
only
cover.
in season 2 myself too, so I'm pretty excited about the insanity that is yet to unfold.
They never did a bad casting of Hannibal. I will say that much. Brian Cox, Hopkins, and Mickelson are all awesome in their very different performances.
The guy who did him in Hannibal Rising is not that good, but nobody.
I forgot that movie exists.
I
think
took a
we
first date to
block
see that
out.
movie.
We repress some of these movies in their existence.
You gotta.
They just don't last. I mean, y'all didn't remember that there was a RoboCop remake. That was a high budget. That was Joel Kinnaman, who was like one of the upcoming guys at the time. And now that movie is just nothing. They're not making any rental money on that movie. They're making 5 times more money on the original RoboCop than the remake at this point.
Yeah. Sometimes you have a classic that's just so good it's unimpeachable, and I mean to remake it would be to diminish it. And I think Point Break is another example. But also Point Blank with Lee Marvin was remade as Payback with Mel Gibson, and that is a terrible movie. But the original Point Blank is fantastic, and so no real harm done there. I don't think most people know that it was a remake. It's just kind of this crappy little.
I love learning new
thriller.
things.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't understand the theory behind remaking something and giving it a different name. I feel like you would want the
like The Departed
recognizability of the original. Well, The Departed is different because that was a foreign film,
true.
and nobody in America really knew about that when it came out. And obviously another really good remake there. Not one of my favorite Scorsese's, but definitely a movie I like.
I think it's because they want their film to be visible in the Google search when they type it in.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You have to fight for your status.
I mean, Manhunter is a weird one. Why was it called Manhunter?
He hunts man?
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know.
It's directed by Michael Mann.
Yeah, right.
It's about a hunter.
It's all ego.
Yeah.
That's what the Grinder app was called originally, actually. But
You know, it's not
There
really
are two ends in that.
right. The Watchmen, like from a movie to a show, even though it's based on a book, and both of them interpret it slightly different. But I do love the Watchmen show remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing what happened when someone actually had a take on Watchmen rather than just liked the
really loves
pictures.
Watchmen.
Yeah.
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 Love that show. It got all the Emmy nominations today. All of them.
It
Every
did,
I
single
think
yeah.
it
one.
got the most.
It
Very
did.
timely. Something like 26 nominations.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
it's up there.
Yeah, and it's not. I guess it's not technically a remake. It's just kind of a different take, but it's awesome. I'm glad
Yeah.
it's getting.
Yeah, I guess it's like a sequel, but Lindelof
It's
Lindelof
like an
is so
extension.
good when he kind of goes off book a little bit of the source material. Like The Leftovers, one of my favorite shows of all time. Season 1 is such a downer. And I read the book, and the book is that way too. It's just like unrelenting dread. And for me, it was almost unwatchable. It's well made. It's still pretty good. If I ever go back and watch Leftovers again, I'll definitely watch season 1 again. But when he got to make his own world in seasons 2 and 3, that's when he really found his stride. Although he didn't really do that with Prometheus, in my opinion. So it's not a universal truth, but he can definitely do some cool stuff with existing worlds.
I'm a fan of Prometheus.
Me too.
Yeah.
Prometheus
I am
Defender
too.
Club.
You're pro Prometheus?
Pro
I
Prometheus.
am pro Prometheus.
Yes.
But we've touched on several, but does anybody have a pick for like the worst remake they've ever seen?
Oh boy.
Or just one that's just downright terrible?
Well,
Scour
one
my
that
IMDb.
I was so offended by that I wrote about it. Like it was like kind of the first thing I was like, I have to write about this. Was 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
so bad. And I literally wrote about like how like everything wrong with it and how it could be fixed. Because it's like, I don't mind the original like franchise. It was never scary to me, but it was just like, man, no, this is the wrong way to do the cinematography, to do the mise en scène, to do the effects, and to have it go so dark when Freddy Krueger has always been so campy and just kind of hinting at being that dark. It was just like, man, we don't need this. Like, that's
I
the first
agree.
thing that comes to mind for me.
Goes
I
full
know.
dark.
I know what mine is, and I had forgotten this movie exists as well. And it's a great filmmaker. He completely disowns this movie, but Spike Lee's Old Boy is so bad.
Ooh.
So bad. Like, oh
Yeah.
boy. And I mean, nobody involved with that, I think, will even acknowledge that they were in it. It is absolutely terrible. And the original one, I think, is so great. That one's an absolute disaster.
I'm glad
there.
I'm glad that we have Endgame to kind of erase Josh Brolin and Elizabeth Olsen's interactions.
Oh,
It's like, okay, she's trying to kill him. He doesn't know who she is. This is better.
that's the only reason that they took those roles, is because it gave them an opportunity to be adversaries and kind of wipe the slate clean of that entire movie for them. Man, that movie's bad. Yeah.
Are you suggesting that Avengers Endgame is a stealth Old Boy remake?
And it was also secretly directed by Spike Lee.
It goes with my fantasy.
An MCU joint.
There's two that I really hate, and one of them's not worth talking. They're both not worth talking about, but I'll do it anyway. The first one is the Brendan Fraser Journey to the Center of the Earth remake, which is just abhorrent on every level, and totally takes out all the intrigue and the drama and what little science there was in the original Jules Verne. Just sucks it right out of it and goes for cheap 3D stuff and Brendan Fraser getting chased by a T-Rex. And then the other one is The Highwaymen, that Netflix one that came out last year with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson.
Oh,
guys who
About
killed
the cops that killed. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you really love scenes that are way too long, that have two old men just running down like a barren street, then The Highwaymen is the movie for you. And then they kill two bona fide American heroes. Then The Highwaymen, now on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, your boomer
I
dad's
only
got to watch something.
acknowledge the country music supergroup Highwaymen. That's all I'll acknowledge.
Oh, you know what we need? You know what we
Why?
need to talk about? Van Sant's Psycho. Where
Yeah.
are we at
Oh,
on
you-
Van Sant's
I
Psycho?
was
could've
going to
taken
mention
my-
that.
That was my
Well,
point.
yeah. That was my movie
Would've
too.
voted, Jay.
But go ahead, Jay. Tell us about your least favorite remake.
I haven't seen it. I just wanted to
Wait a-
bring it up.
Way to step all over mine and Jake's pick.
Well, Kristy, I'll let you.
Well, I would
take
like
the
to announce
honors.
this is the last time I will be appearing on a Film Inquiry Roundtable. It is not my choice. I have been fired. I just got a very angry text,
Oh,
and
no.
it's been wonderful.
Wow. Can't wait to read it. Kristy, what are your thoughts on the Psycho remake?
Oh, it's just so unnecessary. It's just, it doesn't need to exist.
Yeah.
It's funny how like I guess what was the idea or the theory that you do a shot for shot remake, it's the same thing. It should work the same way, but you watch it and everything is just off. And the rhythm is gone. It's just a horrible facsimile, and there's been this bizarre growing appreciation for it as oh, Gus, he was really onto something there, and I'm like, are you insane? Well, I don't think so.
I was expecting a defender or two. That's kind of why I brought it up. I wanted to hear the
What?
defense.
Wasn't the only real change was you actually see him masturbating when he's looking through the
I think so.
peephole?
Yeah,
like-
it's
A worthy addition.
Unforgivable. Unforgivable.
I think that in theory, I understand why it exists, and I'm glad it exists. As Gus Van Sant doing this wacky experiment that's totally not going to work and going to fail, just so we have an example to point to be like, see, it doesn't work just to do a shot-for-shot remake. You can't capture the magic.
That's definitely true. I gotta say, I
His
like the
Galaxy
baseball,
Brain.
by the way. I enjoyed that, even though it's not a remake. I just wanted to throw out Bates Motel since we were shitting on the Psycho movie.
that's a good show. I've never seen
Or
it.
either of the two Psycho sequels, which I've heard are good to okay.
Isn't there a Psycho 4 with
there
Anthony
might be
Perkins?
a Psycho 4. Who
Yeah.
knows? I think he directed one of them. I don't know.
Yeah, he did. I don't know which one.
Probably the bad one.
Definitely something.
The
Gosh,
clock
well,
might be going on that. There might be making a new Psycho. It might be like next up, and
just a matter of time. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, Psycho was mine as the unnecessary bad remake.
All the Disney ones too need to be thrown in that pot. Lion
That
King,
darn
Beauty and the
cat.
Beast.
Oh, like the live action.
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
they've
the
been doing?
the new ones that they've been doing. Beauty and the
Yeah.
Beast is such a terrible movie in my opinion.
I think Cinderella wasn't that.
I really
I
like
actually think that was
Cinderella,
that
but
was the one that was like, whoa, we can do this now, and there was sort of some artfulness to it.
yeah.
Well, I
And
think
then
that was Jungle
they
Book.
abused it.
Jungle Book 2 I really like. Only
Yeah,
because
But
Cinderella
Jungle-
was
I hate
Cinderella was the
original
first
version.
one, and then they did Maleficent, I think, which, despite being kind of a disaster, is at least admirable in its intent. And then
Yeah.
they started copying everything.
I think people just
I
like
would-
Angelina Jolie in that movie.
Yeah. I think so.
It's
I would
got a
say
good
the-
look.
The
Yeah.
one standout is the Jungle Book, I think, because it's not necessarily known as a Disney movie. It's known as a Rudyard Kipling children's show, and like I remember seeing plays about it more as a kid as opposed to like the Bare Necessities movie. But yeah, like I saw Lion King on a plane. That's all you need to know about that. Like
The
It's no
remake
good.
or the original?
the original one I saw, like I think that was the first movie I saw in theaters as a kid.
Same.
That's how old I am. But I watched the new one with Ms. B, Queen B. Like the only good part of that I remember was literally Billy Eichner. He was the only good part.
That was an incredibly, like, the air in the balloon went out of that movie pretty quickly when everyone was just like, oh, this is literally the exact same movie. I mean, at the beginning, people were quoting the lines before they even came up, and this was like opening weekend. Everybody knew everything. But the Disney standout for me, which is it's a remake, kind of. David Lowery's Pete's Dragon, I think, is really good.
Yes.
I like that one a lot because the original movie is like a nothing movie, and he kind of got to have carte blanche on making a movie, and he made a really good movie. And now he's doing Peter Pan, so we have that to look forward to.
That's another one, the ticker clock in downtown Hollywood.
Yep.
There's
So, go ahead.
I just wanted to throw in one more. I like Abel Ferrara's Body Snatchers is really good. If just for the one scene where Meg Tilly is possessed and threatening her husband, and it's just such an eerie moment.
Is that the 90s one?
Yeah, it was mid-90s or maybe 93 even. But yeah, I like that movie.
The
Go ahead,
70s
Kristy.
one is where it's at for me. And that's still a remake too.
Yeah.
I
And I
like a
enjoy
good random Duvall
Eyes remake.
cameo.
Yeah, all the Red Scare.
So before we move to trivia, is there any last thoughts? Also, just speaking of Billy Eichner, I miss Billy on the Street. I don't know if anyone ever watched that. We'll miss it.
Solid program.
It is a remake
Yeah.
of Jaywalking, right?
That's great.
I really can't stand Billy Eichner, and I was going to say it earlier, but I don't know if he listens to the roundtables, and he might come after me.
He does. He's like our #1 fan.
Oh,
He's
no.
gonna show up at your door and yell in your face.
Right after the Thursday premiere, he'll come at me.
He's going to get off that street and on the bus to New Jersey.
Clement, how could you do this to me?
Billy on the bus. Watch it.
He's just live streaming his anger at you for what you said.
Now we're gonna hear about new programming, Billy on the bus. It's all because of us. All right, so let's get into the trivia.
Is it that time? Oh boy.
I believe so.
Here we go. Well, we've got some new people here, so I will read the rules as usual. Trivia. I will ask 10 film and TV related questions to the group. The first person to say the correct answer will earn a point. The player with the most points at the end wins. In the event that there is a tiebreaker will become available. Are there any questions?
Is it like a fight to the death?
No, it's just another. Yeah, exactly. You have to fight.
I
Billy
know you
Eichner to
have
death.
your fight with Billy Eichner on your mind, but this is purely a mental exercise.
Yeah.
He's
All right.
ready.
So, going to start off with I think is an easy one. A lot of these you'll find are remake and reboot related because I like to be thematic, I guess. All right. Question number 1. Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai was later remade as
A Bug's Life.
Western. Sorry, Jay did get that one.
Got him.
We must wait till the question is finished.
Yeah, does that
No.
count?
That was not in the rules. I'm playing by Jeopardy rules.
Yeah, I guess if you kind of know where
I
the
don't think
question
those are the
is
Jeopardy
going.
rules. I think he has to read the whole question. I don't know.
Yeah,
think he
it's like
does.
you read it. All right, so if you can, let me finish the whole question because it might be a closer race to see who can get it. So, all right, I'm kind of concerned about this next question because we have some young people here, but we'll see. Question number 2. Which season in Cheers did Frasier Crane make his first appearance?
What the hell?
I'm out.
Season 2?
Say 2. Anybody
Season
else?
3?
Season 3 is correct.
Hey.
Congratulations, because Frasier is a remake of or a reboot, spin-off of Cheers with the different lead. Okay, all right, that was my.
Congratulations, I'm old.
How many seasons of Cheers are there?
They both ran for 11 seasons.
1,000.
That is correct. Good on you, Bailey Joe. All right, question number 3. How many years lapsed between the release of The Wizard of Oz and its sequel, Return to Oz?
42.
80 years? No.
I was gonna say 40, but
All right, if nobody can get the exact answer, I'll have everybody throw me a number, and whoever's closest will get the point. I got 42 from Clement, 40 from Kristy.
46.
Can I change mine?
30.
Oh, I was going to say 45.
Wait. Can I say, I want to say like 63?
Well, Kristy was right on the money. It was 46. So congratulations,
Very nice.
Kristy. Kristy has 2 points. Jay has 1 point. Clement and Bailey Joe, we're happy to have you here. All right. Question number 4. The remake series of Battlestar Galactica features heavy use of which Bob Dylan song?
Lay, lady, lay. I don't know.
Let me rephrase the question. The remake series Battlestar Galactica features heavy use of which Jimi Hendrix song?
Ooh,
On the Watchtower.
I think Kristy was there.
I think Kristy got it too.
Yeah.
I think Kristy got it. That was a pretty. It got a little easier with that second clue.
Well, you know.
Yeah,
I
definitely got easier with the, yeah.
I originally wrote it as Jimi Hendrix, and I didn't want somebody to nail me on a technicality. Oh, it's a Bob Dylan song, so I rewrote it, and then okay.
But
Jimi
it's
Hendrix update of
it's
a
a cover.
classic Bob Dylan song.
Yeah, it's well, I mean that's a cover that's basically
Mm-hmm.
belongs to Jimmy. All right, question number 5. Never Say Never Again is the unofficial Bond film. It is also a remake of a previous Bond film. Name that Bond film.
We're doing the Bonds.
I had to.
No idea.
I really don't know.
I feel like I should just start naming Bond.
You Only Live Twice.
No, it's not. It's
No?
not Octopussy. It's not You Only Live Twice.
Who is the
Why
Bond
You
in
Shagged
it?
Me, duh.
Who is the? Okay, so this is interesting. So it actually was Sean Connery who came back and did Never Say Never Again 13 years after he quit playing Bond. It's kind of this is a whole legal issue that went on, but he was the original Bond in the previous Bond film.
Okay.
Is Never Say Never Again the one where he disguises as a Japanese man?
That was You Only Live
No,
Twice.
yeah.
Oh.
I'm just gonna go with Diamonds Are Forever.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of his name.
I've already locked in my answer. I think that makes sense.
So it's not You Only Live Twice. It's not Diamonds Are Forever. It's not Octopussy. Anyone?
I mean, can I just name the Connery Bond films? Is that
I was gonna
allowed?
say-
I mean,
You could do that.
If you can name the title
Is
of it
the
first.
Doctor No.
Thunderball?
Clement! Thunderball.
Yes, I did it.
Thunderball is my least favorite Connery Bond movie.
Well,
I
that's
do
why they
not
made
like
another
that
one.
movie.
I called
Yeah.
it Thunderbolt. So
There's a lot of underwater stuff in that one.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, there is. Okay. Question number 6. How many live-action theatrical films have depicted the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne?
Oh God.
Ooh.
7?
6.
5.
It is 5. Clement got it.
Nice.
Yeah. It was the
I was sitting
89
here
Batman, Batman Forever, Batman Begins, Batman v Superman, Joker.
Jake, do you have a favorite death of Thomas and
Is
Martha
that a
Wayne?
Batman movie? Technically?
Well, how many theatrical released films?
The question
right?
was not how many Batman movies. The question was how many live action theatrical films have depicted the death of Thomas and Martha
I was about
Wayne.
to pull out
That's
Lego
true.
Batman, but you
Yeah.
you said live action there.
I said live action theatrical just so you can't
It-
throw Mask of the Phantasm
Technically,
at
it's
me or
live
whatever.
action because it wasn't allowed to be nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars.
What
Those
what is my
technicalities.
what is my favorite Thomas and Martha death? I mean, it's a bad movie, but I kind of like the beads falling in Batman v Superman. I think
Yeah.
that one's
How do
at
they
least-
get behind the gun, though? He'd have to push the gun up and then weave them around.
I don't care. It looks good. Hold on one second. I have it covered. All right. Hello.
Pressure.
Uh-oh. A fifth
Oh.
combatant has entered the arena.
So now. All right. Here we go. All right.
Jay
you'll be
has
fine.
to fight the cat.
Okay. All right. So, question number 7. What 2015 bomb starring Bill Murray was named after a hit song by The Clash?
Rock the Casbah.
Correct.
Ah,
Hey,
I just randomly thought of that question. It has nothing to do with remakes or reboots.
Clement is running away with this thing.
Well, we have
Yeah.
Kristy with 3
Go
and Clement
Clement.
with 3. So it's anybody's game at this
oh.
point.
Okay.
We have
Except
3
for
more
Not
questions. We have 3. Well, you could get the next 3, and then there's a tiebreaker as well. So,
Oh.
Made a
Make his
mistake
big
by drinking
comeback.
wine, so.
all right. All right, question number 8. This was my new favorite question because it took me a bit of research, but if anybody gets it immediately, I'm going to be very mad. Question number 8. Mission Impossible is a remake film series of the original television series. There are 6 films. Throughout these films, how many times do we see somebody ripping a mask off of their face to reveal somebody else?
How many movies is that in, or how many times?
How many times do we see a mask reveal?
12.
6.
I'm gonna, again, if nobody gets it, I'll take the closest answer.
12.
Clement said 12.
Oh, 14.
Kristy
10.
has her guess. 10.
I don't know. 18. I don't know.
What was
A lot.
Jay, you said 14?
I said 14.
I'm gonna give it to Price is Right rules. I'm gonna give it to Jay as 14. The answer is 16. There's 16 mask reveals. Jay, you're on the board with a point. You could get one of these next ones and tie this up.
I have 2 points. Thank
Jake,
you very
did you-
much.
I said
Do I
you
not
have
get
one.
my first one?
I said you have one more on the
Oh,
point. My pen's trying to, or my pen's trying to get my cat. My
Yeah.
cat's trying to get my pen.
Did you go and watch all of the Mission Impossible movies to do this? Or
No,
was
I
there
went to
a
YouTube
cut?
and I looked up mask reveal compilation and I counted them on my lunch break today.
Because
So
of course that exists on YouTube.
it does exist. There's several versions.
which is the one that has a ton? Is it a 2 or 3?
Two
has
has 5.
Yeah.
And there's
Wow.
2 in the same scene. Where
Wow.
yeah.
Is it one where he's wearing 2 masks?
No, it's where they think they have Tom Cruise captured and the main villain shoots Tom Cruise tied up, but then he sees that the guy he just shot, his finger is cut off, and he takes the Tom Cruise mask off to reveal it's his right-hand man. And then his right-hand man, meanwhile, is running out of the room, and he rips off his mask, and it's Tom Cruise.
Wow.
Amazing moment. Mission Impossible 2.
John
All
Woo.
I've
right.
never seen any of those movies. I guess I should watch them now.
Now you don't have to.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah,
black.
Oh,
That's a
Fun.
thing in those
Damn, you're
movies.
right.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah. All right. Question number 9. How many people does Wolverine kill in the first X-Men film from 2007?
0.
Wait,
Correct.
the first X-Men film from 2007.
I'm sorry. Did I say 2007? I meant 2000.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll
but
accept
it.
it.
Was 2000. Clement got it. He does not kill anybody in that movie. But he kills a lot of people in the next movies.
All right,
Come
well,
on.
with
Damn
with
you,
that,
Ragnar.
I believe I
Especially-
am eliminated.
All right. Well, we have Kristy with 3, Clement with 4, Jay with 2, Bailey Joe. Happy to have you here. Holding strong.
Yeah.
We
And
have
the
one
cat.
question. We have one question left. If Kristy gets this one right, we'll have a tie. We'll need to go to a tiebreaker. If Clement gets it right, he'll be the champion. If nobody can get it right, Clement will be the champion. So a lot riding on Kristy to get this point. No pressure. Question number 10. What food item is consumed in the last scene of The Sopranos?
Spaghetti.
Cannoli.
I am
Not spaghetti.
abstaining because I want Kristy to get it.
I'm like trying to picture the scene.
Would it help if I started playing some Journey?
Christy frantically Google Sopranos last scene.
Don't
No.
stop bagel leaving.
But I am. Is it like a bird? No. Is it
You
a
order
cat?
some for the. Okay.
Okay, like fries? No. Onion rings, fries.
Correct.
Something like that.
It is onion rings.
Oh, nice.
You ordered some for the table.
Very nice.
Wow. All
Yeah,
right.
he does.
We have a tiebreaker. This is
Drama.
exciting.
Oh,
All right. So this is just between Kristy and Clement. The
if I
tiebreaker
lose,
is
Christy will fire me. So.
your job at Film Inquiry is on the line.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
You've been warned.
So, all right, here we go. The tiebreaker is name as many of the 5 chapters in Inglourious Bastards as you can.
I've never seen Inglourious Bastards. So no.
Well, I'll leave it to Kristy to just name at least one chapter to be our winner.
What if neither of us can?
One. It
Can
just
she?
is it just the first one? Glorious Bastards?
No, the
Is the first one called like the Jew Hunter? Or
I'm
something?
gonna give you a point
what
because
what
one
would
is
Quentin
called-
Tarantino call the first chapter of his movie?
The first chapter. It chapter 1.
Oh, Revenge of the Giant Ace.
That is one of them, correct.
Ah,
So, and you did
Because
say
it's a-
Inglourious Bastards. That is one of them as well. So you did get 2 of them. And you want to hazard a guess at any of the other 3? Jay, would you like to show off for a moment?
Well, I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but it's Once Upon a Time in Nazi-occupied France or something like that.
That is absolutely correct.
I thought
That
that
is
was
the
the
first one.
tagline. Cool.
I think that was also the tagline as well. The other ones are A German Night in Paris and Operation Kino.
Yes, I was thinking Kino, but I
Wow. Well, good job. Our intrepid editor-in-chief, Kristy, is the champion.
Huge win. I put your
Right.
belts in the mail. It's on the way.
Congratulations.
Go, Kristy.
You have to Lysol spray it before you can wear it, though.
Yeah.
I have a Yoda with a film inquiry hat that I usually say is the prize, even though he's not. So,
You get to have the honorary Yoda for the week.
Yeah, I never sent him to Kevin, but I just felt it was a good idea. Awesome, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a great game, you guys.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I had a lot of fun.
Thank you,
thinking those
Jake, for
Thanks, Jake, for watching all the Mission Impossible movies.
up. Yeah, it only took me about 13 hours, but it was worth it.
You the real MVP, man.
sure.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. It was a lot of fun. Love chatting about movies, and we definitely did a lot of that. And thank you again, Jake, for the wonderful trivia. And I hope that anyone watching this during the premiere will feel free to comment and chat along with their picks, or maybe disagreements on some of these. Like I love the original Fright Night, but I actually like the remake. I often get a little bit of heat for that, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you again, and I hope everyone has a wonderful, awesome evening or morning for Bailey.
Yep.
I believe.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I don't have a job.
Bailey, what time is it in Japan?
It is 11:14 a.m.
Oh,
Mhm.
Wow.
drinking
It's very
time.
sunny. It's very hot. I'm not a fan. That's why I have white wine. So next time I will not drink.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. All righty.
All right. Well, thanks
Thanks for
again.
having me.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.